This video demonstrates the installation of the wood barn door track and brackets. Once your wood barn door is fully assembled and has the desired finished look, you are now ready to install the brackets. Instructions for assembling our barn door are available on a separate video. The following are tools or items that are necessary or may be useful in the door assembly: a large, sturdy workbench or sawhorses, a rubber mallet, a drill, a Phillips head screwdriver, a 5/16" drill bit, a 3/8" drill bit, a 13mm wrench, a 16mm wrench, a 17mm wrench, a measuring tape, a 4-foot level, a squaring tool, a pencil, and safety glasses. Prior to any installation of the track, you must decide if a mounting board is needed, and the board must be installed first. Due to many overlapping factors, such as location of wall studs, weight of a door, and the various types of trim used in homes, we highly recommend using a mounting board in all situations. The track must be installed into solid blocking, casing, or a properly installed mounting board. Improper installation could result in serious bodily harm. Next, measure for the proper height placement of your track. Add 1 13/16 inches to the height of the door being installed. Mark this height on the wall or mounting board on the side of the jamb where the door will be in the closed position. On the same side where you made your height mark, measure 4 3/4 inches over from the door jamb and mark the intersection of the two measurements. This will be the location of the first hole in the track. Using the drill, insert the proper anchor for your wall type. Tap the anchor into place until it is flush with the wall. Make sure the track is level while marking the remaining holes in the track, and insert the remaining anchors. If your doorway requires a more narrow open and closed position, it is important to install the door stops onto the track prior to mounting the track to the wall. Once the track is mounted to the wall, the door stops can only be placed outside of the two outermost holes in the track, as shown in this video. This would be for a wider open and closed position. Again, it is important to determine this prior to mounting the track. Once the anchors are inserted, line the track up with the anchors. Ensure the track is level and mount the track to the wall with the spacers and bolts supplied. Tighten the bolts with a 13mm wrench. Do not over-tighten the bolts. To attach the brackets to the door, make sure the door is laying flat on a sturdy work surface. Measure 4½ inches in from the side on the left and right sides of the door, and mark these locations. Using the squaring tool, draw a vertical line at this marking. Then, from the top of the door, measure down 1½ inches on the left and right sides and mark the location. Draw a horizontal line with the squaring tool. The intersection of these two lines will be the location of your first hole. Place a rolling bracket on the door and align the top hole with the mark for the first bolt. Drill a 3/8 inch hole and insert a bolt. Make sure the decorative nut is on the front of the door. Using the bracket as a template, make sure the bracket is square and mark the second hole. Drill a 3/8 inch hole and insert the second bolt. Repeat these steps for the second rolling bracket. To secure the rollers, place the washers and nuts onto the bolts on the back side of the door and tighten. Once the rolling brackets are tightened and secure, it is important to install the safety spacers. These spacers help to protect the door from being bumped off the track. Place one of the spacers approximately 2 inches to the inside of one of the roller brackets. Place it slightly off-center towards the front of the door. Using a drill, secure the spacer with the screw provided. Repeat the same step on the other side with the remaining spacer. To ensure safety, it is important to have 2 people to lift the door. Position the door over the opening and slightly tilt the bottom of the door outward and away from the wall. Set the rollers securely onto the track. Once the door is safely mounted and secure, turn the 2 safety spacers 180 degrees towards the wall. This is the proper position for the safety spacers and is very important to help prevent the door from lifting off of the track. Improper installation could cause serious bodily harm. Move the door to the closed position and slide the door stops to the desired location. Using the provided Allen wrench, tighten the screws in the top of the door stop to secure it into place. Carefully glide the door into the full open position and repeat these steps for the remaining door stop. To locate the proper installation position for the bottom door glide, slide the door into the closed position to where it is flush with the opening and mark the outside edge of the door on the floor. Now, place the door into the open position and slide the door glide onto the inside edge of the bottom of the door and place it on the spot you marked. It is important that whether the door is in the open or the closed position, that the door never leaves the door glide. This is the proper location in the floor for the glide. Make sure your glide location is well marked. Using a drill and the screws provided, secure the door glide to the floor. If you are installing a handle, measure up approximately 38 to 40 inches, or your desired height, from the bottom of the door and mark the location. Then measure in from the edge of the door to where you would like the handle placement and mark that location. If using the provided handle, drill a hole at the marked location using the 5/16 inch drill bit. Then place one side of the handle, washer, and screw through the hole, and then on the back side of the door, place the other side of the handle and washer onto the screw and twist until tight. If using another type of handle, make sure it corresponds with the thickness of the barn door. Your door is now ready for use.